everybody, I'm Rhea. Welcome back to Rhea Reads. Today I'm going to be giving book recommendations based off of Taylor Swift's reclaimed albums. Please ignore all the beeping and like random generator sounds in the background. That is only temporary for this video, and I'm sorry about that. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge swiftie and I have loved Taylor Swift ever since Midnights. I was ecstatic when she announced that she got to reclaim her original 6 albums. And I am just so excited, and so I compiled a list of books that match the vibes of each album. First up is Debut, and I never listen to Debut, to be honest. I'm sorry, I just relate to like none of the songs. I do recognize that some of them are bangers, but this just doesn't seem like it's a place in my life specifically. Either way, I am gonna be here for Debut Taylor's version, and oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready. I'm sorry I haven't listened to Debut, but I feel like it gives like small town romance and then like a little girl trying to find her place in the world. You know, it's very like optimistic. The first book we have is The Lucky List, which I read this last month. The Lucky List is about Emily, whose mom has recently passed away and she's gonna process it. So the summer before her senior year, she finds this list that her mom wrote of all these things she wanted to do when she was Emily's age, and then Emily tries to do things on the list, and who does she enlist the help of but her like childhood bestie Blake. And Blake drives a pickup truck, and Blake and Emily are the cutest. I love Rachel Lippincot's books. I love the dynamic, but like it takes place in like a small town in Pennsylvania, I'm pretty sure. Sunflower on the cover, she gets a tattoo of a sunflower. I feel like it very much gives like Debut vibes. The second book I have is A Tale of Magic, and this is one of my favorite books of all time, just for like comfort reasons. I read this a couple of years ago, like when it first came out. This book is just like for my inner child. It's everything my inner child and me just like dream about. This is a prequel to Land of Stories, but you don't have to read Land of Stories to read it. And it is a first in a trilogy, but I only recommend the first book. A Tale of Magic is about Bristol Evergreen, and she grows up in this kingdom where there's a lot of restrictions put on basically everybody. She's like 12 and she's like wanting to like have an adventure, live her life, but the kingdom she lives in is very restrictive, especially for women. They can't read or like have jobs. They can only be like housewives and maids and stuff. She's longing for adventure, but she's feeling very restricted by her circumstances. And also this world, magic is restricted, and they call all magic witchcraft, and anybody who's doing magic is immediately just like accused of being a witch. Still finds out that she has magic, but she's not a witch. She's a thing she's never heard of called a fairy. And so she ends up going to like this magical school to learn how to be a fairy with all of these like young kids, and they all have like specialties. Like there's like this girl who's like specialty is water, so she has like a water outfit and like can do like water things. And there's this girl who could like specialty is like jewels, and like she can like turn stuff and rocks into jewels and stuff like that. Like, oh my god, this book is so cute. It definitely gives like a place in this world vibes. When I was first reading this, knowing that it was a prequel to the Land of Stories, I was like, oh, it's weird that magic is outlawed, because magic is the foundation of like any of those fairy tales that we read about. Next up is Fearless, and to be honest, I haven't listened to Fearless in a long time. My favorite songs are probably The Way I Loved You and Forever and Always. The first book I have is Better Than the Movies, and this book, first off, one of my favorite books of all time, but Better Than the Movies, I specifically attribute it to The Way I Loved You. Better Than the Movies, we have Liz and Wes. Liz is like a 16-year-old girl, and her mom died when she was young, but her mom and her loved watching like rom-coms, like early 2000s rom-coms. She has a crush on this guy named Michael, and she's trying to get with him, and she needs the help of her best friend slash like enemy, Wes. And you know, the book is just about Liz and Wes bonding while Liz thinks about Michael, and it's just so great. I love Liz and Wes, and they are just so like high school couple. They're like fearless personified, again like The Way I Loved You, but also like fearless. Liz and Wes's chemistry is just so good, so 2000s like rom-com. It's great. The next book I have for Fearless is 11 Birthdays in the Willow Falls series, and I don't hear people talk about this series, obviously because it's a middle grade series from like 20 years ago. I grew up on these books though, and I love them, and I reread them last year, and they still hold up. So I am here to spread the Willow Falls agenda. Also, the author follows me on Instagram, which is a flex that nobody probably cares about, but is making my like 8-year-old self die inside. If you grew up in like the 2000s, 2010s, you 100% see these books in like the Scholastic Book Fair. 11 Birthdays follows Amanda and her 11th birthday, and it's basically a Groundhog Day. Her 11th birthday just keeps repeating. Amanda used to be best friends with this guy named Leo, and they shared their birthday, so they've had their birthday together forever. Something happened in like their 10th birthday or something, so they're celebrating their 11th birthday separately, and so Amanda keeps having to relive her birthday over and over again. I don't want to spoil it, even though this is like a book we came out 20 years ago, but like it's just so good. And it's just like the 2000s nostalgia. He was like, what's it called, like IM, like the computer messaging thing. The second book finally is about like this girl who's turning 12 and like everything is going on because like she wrote this list of stuff she wanted to do when she was 12 and like it's all going wrong. These 5 books, the first and second book are pretty disconnected, but the third book, they're like all a friend group, and it's so cute. Between Gifts is the third book. It's my favorite. It's about this girl who's not from this town, Willow Falls, but she's like visiting and she has to like get a bunch of these objects all over town. She enlists the help of like the friend group, like the people from the first and second book. There's like middle school crushes, there's like friendship drama, there's like them just going around town and like connecting with different people. It's very, very cute. I know people have read it, but like this came out like 20 years ago, so people don't really talk about it. This is like one of the reasons why I wanted to start this channel, because anytime I would look up like a Willow Falls review, it'd be like some 8-year-old, and I'm like, nah, I want like somebody my age to like talk about Willow Falls and how it changed their brain chemistry. Next up we have Speak Now, and would you believe it, I don't really listen to Speak Now right now, but I still love the concept of Speak Now, being unafraid to be yourself and to just feel your feelings and to just speak it all out. Yes, my favorite songs to Speak Now are probably Enchanted, Haunted, and Long Live. Woo! First off, we have Divine Rivals, and I love this book. I think it's one of my favorite books of 2023. Iris and Roman both work at this newspaper place, and they're like competing. And then Iris also has like this magical typewriter at home, and she like writes letters to this person, and she like slips it under this cupboard or whatever, and she gets letters back from this like mysterious someone. Guess who it is? Iris and Roman are my everything. Like, I love them so much. Roman Carver Kit is my everything. I love him. He's mine. This book really reminds me of the song Timeless. I'm pretty sure there's a line in Timeless that's like about writing letters and like war, but like that's how I feel about Roman and Iris. It's like they're my everything. They're always gonna be there. They're soulmates. There is some kind of like romanticism of war, and like that's when you like speak now and speak out your feelings. Next book I have is another romance. It's You with the View by Jessica Joyce. I associate this book with I Can See You. We have Noelle and Theo, and Noelle is grieving her grandmother. She like finds these old letters from her grandmother, but it wasn't from her grandfather, so she like posts them on TikTok, and she finds out who like the other guy is, and turns out he's the grandfather of like her high school rival. They all go on like a road trip so she can like reconnect with her grandmother, but then she has to like falling in love with Theo, and they just have so much chemistry. This is so good. I love the road trip vibes. Next up is Red, which is an album I actually have been listening to recently. Whoa, I know, right? My favorite songs off Red are Nothing New and Red, especially the cinematic version that was in the Summer I Turned Pretty trailer. Like, somebody needs to put that on Spotify. Thank you. Red, to me, is very much like college. It's very much like life. Like, this is you living your life. Like, you're on your own for the first time, and like you have your heartbreak, and you have like friendship break, stardom, you have like figuring out life, and it's just very much like a grown-up. Like, you're finally out in the real world. It's so comforting. First book I have, Represent Red, I literally just talked about in one of my recent wrap-ups, and that's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And this book broke my scale for like how I relate whatever song to whatever book. I just gave this book an entire album. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about Evelyn Hugo, who was a movie star starting like the 1950s and just like onward. And she chooses like this random reporter to tell her life story in like a memoir. Evelyn Hugo is telling her life, like all of her 7 marriages, all of the mistakes she made, all like the things she did, all the things she's experienced in like the industry. Evelyn Hugo's life is very much Red. First off, it gives like Nothing New. She's like telling them about like the movie industry and like what it does to you. She not only experiences a lot of heartbreak between her 7 marriages, she does have a one true love, and that love story is just like very heartbreaking, very just like come back and be here, just like I just want you guys to be happy. I would recommend The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo if you are a Taylor Swift fan, just because of like the parasocial relationship. It's called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so like we know we're gonna get some tea about the 7 husbands. Whereas like, especially when I first started being a Swiftie, I was like really interested in the Taylor Swift lore. I was like, oh, like why did she date this person? What's the story with this person? I would love Joseph to like sit down and just dish on like every single person ever, especially like her love life. Obviously, I don't want that, but I'm always like interested in it. Like, that's one of the reasons that I try to dissect her songs. I'm like, what happened? The next book I would recommend is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. It is a lit fic contemporary sci-fi book. So we follow April May, who is like, I don't even remember what her job is, but she finds these like robot alien things when she's just like in New York, like on the street. She like makes a video with them, and then she goes viral, and she's like the person the like ambassador to like deal with these like alien things, because like there's like an alien invasion. This book also deals with fame, all of a sudden just being really famous because she made like this one viral video. But it's also about like humanity and like how does humanity come together to deal with this kind of threat. And yeah, I don't love this book. It is very much like a read book where it's just like somebody living through life. The next album is 1989, which I also have not been listening to that much lately, but my favorite song lately has been All You Have to Do Is Stay. The first book I have is People We Meet on Vacation, which is my favorite romance book. And the song I associate with this book is You Were in Love. In People We Meet on Vacation, we follow Poppy and Alex, who've been like best friends since college. And they're like polar opposites. Poppy is like an outgoing, extroverted, always like trying to get into this like crazy stuff. Alex is like bookworm, stay at home, chill guy. But like they complement each other so well. And they've been best friends since college, and they always go on like this annual summer trip together for like 10 years or something. And Poppy's job is to be like this travel blogger too, so they got to go to like some really cool places. We follow like this summer they're going on another one, but something happened like a year or two ago that like broke off their friendship, and they don't really talk anymore. So not only is this like a chance for her to do a job and everything, but she like wants to repair her relationship with Alex. You Are in Love by Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? It's like the best friends are in love. Like it's just so cute. Like I just love the dynamic. I love how much you trust each other. The vibe is because very much like you are my home, and I really got very like happy, especially coming from 1989. Like you can like go be off on like your main character adventures and everything, but like, you know, you always have home with somebody. That's so cute. They just like go and have all these adventures in different cities, so it's very much like 1989. The next book I have is Thieves Gambit. This is one of my favorite books from last year, and this is a young adult book where it follows like this teenage thieving competition. This book is just like so fun. We follow Ross, and like her family is like a bunch of thieves. So she gets sent to go to like this like thieving competition. So this game involves a lot of trials, and then we also have like a lot of team ups and betrayals from these characters, and it's just so fun. Like it's very much just like bad blood, but also just like new romantics because they're teenagers and they're friends. So we have Reputation, which my favorite song are Call It What You Want and So It Goes. First off, we have Renegades, which is one of my favorite series of all time. If you love superheroes, I would recommend you read this book. I would describe Renegades as a mix between Incredibles 2, Descendants, Miraculous Ladybug, and Arcane. Like, it sounds insane when I say that because I'm like, this has to be like the best book of all time. In this world, the superheroes are like the government, and it's not like evil. Like the superheroes are like inherently good, and they're trying to do good things. But at the end of the day, they, for some reason, it's like the superheroes are like the entire justice system. Nova's younger, her family was in danger, and she wanted to do something, but she just told herself that like the superheroes, the Renegades, would come and see her, and so they didn't, and now she's like orphaned, and her uncle is actually like the main villain of like the entire superheroes. She like joins him, like joins all the villains. And we have Adrian. He's the son of like the two of the main superheroes, and he is like a superhero himself. He's like training for it, but he still thinks that the Renegades have like blind spots, and there's some things that they can't do because of like all these rules and regulations. So he becomes like a vigilante. Both Nova and Adrian are doing things for good, but that are like against the Renegades, and it's so good. It's so good. The superpowers are just like the coolest thing. Nova has the ability to not need to sleep, which is the coolest thing, which just like put people to sleep. And Adrian has the ability to like make whatever he can draw to life, not in like he can like make life kind of way. I don't know. It's described better in the book, but like he gives himself tattoos, which is why he's able to like be another persona and like a vigilante. The way this world works is that they like have trials for superheroes, and they have different teams. Nova is like being taken care of by all like the old villains who are like waiting for their day to like take over. But she decides to infiltrate the Renegades and like pretend to be a superhero so she can like get in on the inside, and she ends up on the same team as Adrian. You see all the vibes talking about like Incredibles 2 because like they're reliant on superheroes, and like the whole world is superheroes. Descendants because it's like we have this like infiltration of this villain character into like the good guys, and we have this whole like battle of good versus evil. We have Miraculous Ladybug, obviously, because like both Nova and Adrian have like 3 different identities, and some of them they're lovers, some of them are enemies. Like, oh, it's so good. And then like Arcane, I can't explain like the main one because that's a spoiler, but just like kind of the vibe of like good versus evil. Very much like the don't blame me, like what you made me do, but then also like the call what you want with like the romance. The next book I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is one of my favorite books of 2022. This book is about Pip, who is like a high school girl, and for her project, she is wanting to open up this murder in her town. In this town, this pretty much solved that in this murder, there is this guy that killed his girlfriend. But Pip doesn't believe that, and so she investigates it further. And it very much gives like the reputation like don't mess with me vibe, especially as the series goes on. Pip becomes a little bit unhinged. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like the video, comment below, subscribe for more content, and follow me on Instagram. Bye!